Almost at the All-Star break, and it's time to sort of look at some of these teams after that crazy trade deadline. We're going to give them some grades. Normal grading system, Lou, and you're up first for the Warriors. Right now, sitting at 500, 10th in the West. Offensively, 17th. Defensively, 9th. We already know they added Jimmy Butler. Talk to me grade-wise. How are you looking at Golden State these days?
It's going to sound harsh, but hear me out. They're going to get an F.
It does sound harsh.
It sounds harsh, but hear me out. The Golden State Warriors have set a standard. They have set a standard of excellence that we've gotten used to from this team and the way that they play, even down to the way that we look at teams shooting three-pointers. This is a overcorrection for teams to compete against the Golden State Warriors. That's why we have the style of basketball that we have, because teams were trying to strive to beat this team. Sitting at 10th place, having a 500 record, you trade Klay Thompson. You talk about trade Draymond Green. Yes, you just brought Jimmy Butler in last week, but this team is playing under the expectation level that they have set for themselves, the level of success that they have set for themselves. They're playing extremely under it. Being in 10th place, I'm sure that's not where they would want to be. That's not what they were striving to be this year. Now, granted, they've dealt with some injuries and things of that nature, but at the end of the day, you have Steph Curry on your basketball team that always gives you an opportunity to compete at a high level. So for that, I'm sure they would grade themselves somewhere in this area based on the level of respect that they've garnered around the league. So I'm going to give them an F right now.
How about a little extra credit to make the playoffs? These are the odds.
Yeah, it's going to be a fight. You know, a lot of times when I look at these things and we talk about one team, I always think about the 9 teams that's in front of them. Like, they're not going to quit competing and playing at the level that they're playing. Now, can they put some wins together, adding Jimmy Butler and kind of giving this team a different look? I think they can string some wins together. Did they lose just the other night for the first time with this new group, I believe?
Last night they lost.
Last night was their first time?
To the Mavericks in Dallas. Yep.
That's a tough one. But so again, these teams aren't going to stop competing. And so the way that team is constructed right now, I don't know if they can get themselves in a guaranteed position, but I feel like if they're in that play-in, they can mess it up for somebody one way or another with the team that they have. But that's where I'm staying.
Fair enough. Chandler, you are up next, and we will take you to Minnesota. 7th right now, 30-25. Offensively, 14th. Defensively, 6th. We know they made all their moves in the offseason, so the trade deadline wasn't really the thing. And it's been lackluster. I think that's a fair enough adjective for their year so far. Chandler, talk to me about grades for the Timberwolves.
I'm gonna give them a C-. I think they were on such a great trajectory. They go to the Western Conference Finals last year, and that trade, again, and we don't need to get into it, beating a dead horse here, but it just never made sense. DiVincenzo's struggling. He was part of that big move. He struggled kind of all year long. Now he's been out with his toe. Dillingham's a rookie that I thought was going to have immediate impact with Conley being older and the only real point guard on the team. He's kind of struggled, hasn't got a lot of opportunity. And this is just a team that I thought was going to be a top 2, top 3 team coming into this season. And then ever since that move, they just kind of haven't figured it out. The only reason I'm giving them a C too is because I do think there's time. I think they're good. When you have Anthony Edwards and you have this type of roster that can play defense and dig down there, they can win games in the playoffs. When it slows down, they're still going to be a tough out. But I just felt like they were a top elite team the last couple of seasons, and now they're not. So they're passing with a C-, but it's not great.
Passing, not great. All right, this next one, I really don't need to tell you much. It's the Lakers. And obviously the trade deadline is the story here. They are 4th right now. Offensively, 9th. Defensively, 17th, Lou. They got Luka. They did lose a game. Talk to me.
Got to give them a B+, almost an A, almost an A-, but B+. Very active in the trade deadline. We're able to pull a big fish out of that water in Luka Doncic and still be able to go from 5th to get down into the top 4 in the West with what a lot of people would consider a team that doesn't have a lot of household names that you're used to on the Los Angeles Lakers, but you got to give them credit. Give Rob Pelinka credit for pairing LeBron James with Luka Doncic. And you give LeBron James credit for being the best player on this team at 40 years old. The way that he's playing and leading this basketball team is something to marvel at. He's been able to do it, and we're still seeing Luka get his feet wet, get his feet from under him and catching the groove with this Los Angeles Lakers team. They can cut down the turnovers, but I still think they're just trying to make big plays, trying to make the wild plays to impress everybody. Like, we know what this team is going to be capable of in the future. They got to tighten up the interior, like we always been mentioning. Let's see what Alex Lynn gives this team. Let's see what the other bigs give them. But right now, with all of those things, they're still in the top 4 in the Western Conference. So you got to give this team a B+, almost an A still.
Almost an A. I like their extra credit because we're jumping to win the Western Conference. No more of this playoff talk. They got to win.
I don't know about that, but 750 sounds fine.
That's a Lou number. I figured you would like that one. That's why I was like, it's worth a couple bucks.
750 sounds fine. I don't know about that. I really, really think this is the year we see OKC turn the corner and get themselves in the Western Conference Finals and possibly the NBA Finals with the way that team is constructed and the way that they're playing. I really like OKC. But listen, Lakers aren't shabby. They can put a lot of pressure on these teams with how they're built if they can figure it out moving forward. But at the halfway, B+, nothing shabby either. So that's where I'm at.
No, it's not horrible. You're getting Denver, Chandler, right now in the 3rd spot. They're 36-19, 3rd and 16th offensively and defensively. Look, they started the year weird. We'd all jumped to conclusions that the window was closed, and they've gone 25-9 since that start. So, talk to me.
Yeah, it's crazy. If I didn't see the first 20 games, they'd be getting close to a D or F. And if I only saw the last, 2 games, they're the hottest team in the NBA right now. They've won 8 straight, and they didn't really make a move. I'm going to give them a B+ because it's the same team. And this is the team that I thought was going to move off Michael Porter, kind of bring in someone else. And we've been waiting on Jamal Murray to kind of find his rhythm. He's starting to do that. You know what you're going to get with Jokic, right? And then Aaron Gordon's been in and out of the lineup. And the 2 guys I've been huge for them are Christian Brown and Peyton Watson, and then Julian Strawther even. Like, what can we get out of those 3 bench players? And any game night, they've had success and they've kind of shown flashes. But this is a team that's gotten unbelievably hot, and I do feel like I trust them. Like, come a playoff series, besides the Thunder, I trust them against the Grizzlies. I trust them against the Rockets. It's not going to be easy, but this team is proven, they're experienced, and they have the best player in the world. So I give them a B+, but I am a bit surprised they didn't make any moves. But that just shows you they are confident in that locker room that they have enough to go and compete for another championship this year, which is crazy looking at the start of the season they had. We never thought we'd be here. I never thought they'd be 36-19 after what the product I saw early on. But I think a B+ is fair, but they're the hottest team in the NBA right now.
So hot right now. So hot right now. All right, we got to take a quick break. On the other side, we will wrap things up for our Thursday Run It Back.
Run it back, run it up, run it back, run it up.